I'm going to start my animation. So I'm going to turn the background back on so I can see how it's going to look together. Look at how excited Ozzy looks to be hanging out with Luigi. Like, they're going to be having a great time in this animation. All right, so now the body's not going to move at all, okay? The only movement I'm going to show with him is just with the head. So an option you could take is I could lock this as well, so I know I'm not going to move that. So I'm going to lock that. And then I'm going to start to animate the head. So I'm going to close this. Here's the process. You're just creating layers and you're shifting those layers. So this is my first animation, part of the animation, okay? Your first steps in your animation are going to be on the bottom. And then as you add, they're going to layer up on top of each layer. And those are going to be the next steps in the animation, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I want this to stay this way. So this is one frame. Then I'm going to do a Control J or a right click, and I'm going to duplicate the layer. Control J or right click, either one. All right, this is a copy, okay? So right now, they're exactly the same. But on my copy, I'm going to start to rotate this or move it. So maybe if I'm moving it, I want to move it to the side, or maybe I want to move it up, okay? Depends on what you want to do. In this case, I'm going to move it back. I want to just move his head. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, because I just want it to rotate a little bit, kind of side to side. I'm going to click on Rotate. All right. It's selecting this whole area, which is fine. And then I can just start to shift this. Now, as I'm shifting it, I'm going to move it down, but it looks kind of weird to have the neck moving with two. So I'm going to press Escape. I'm actually going to delete this copy. So you might have to undo some stuff once you start to see how it's going to work. And I'm just going to remove the neck, okay? I'm going to come in. I'm just going to use the brush. I think that'll work just fine. And then I'll probably, oops, it's doing this because I'm clicked on my pixels, not my mask. So I'm going to undo that, click on my mask. I'm going to come along. Oops, I took out too much there. So I'm going to start just by the chin here. Let's do this. There we go. And then I can see it. I took off the layer underneath. And then I'm going to have to make my brush smaller. So bracket key, get down lower, and then smaller in this area so I don't take away too much. Okay, I think that's pretty good because that'll be the part that's going to move. And I want to do this before I start animating, otherwise I'm going to have to do this on every layer afterwards. So I'm going to put that layer on underneath. So now I know I need to go back to the body, switch it to white, and then bring out, it's locked, so I'm going to just click on that lock. Thanks for telling me. So now I just need to bring out more of that neck. Okay, so I'm going to lock that layer again. And I'm going to redo this. So Control minus, I'm going to Control J, head copy, edit. I want to do a rotate. You're going to think about what you're going to do. And I'm just going to, oh, there we go. That's looking better without the neck in there. So I'm going to rotate it just a little bit. I'm going to use my arrow keys and just kind of move it around so that it still kind of lines up at the chin. Press enter. That's one step. I'm going to repeat that. Control J, that copies it again. Edit, transform, rotate. So this time I'm taking that one that's already there. You can start to see in the backgrounds one head, then a middle head, and then a third head here that I'm rotating now. So I'm thinking about how I'm moving it as it goes, and then maybe I'll shift it around so the chin lines up. Enter. This is the process. So I'm going to keep doing this. I will pause it. I'm going to do the tilt all the way to the side, and then I'll show you how I'm going to bring it back again because I want it to kind of tilt side to side. So I'm going to pause it while I bring it all the way back or all the way to the side. All right, so now you can see I've rotated it. I've got, looks like 6 movements this way. Now I want to bring it back, okay? So to bring it back, I don't need to duplicate this one, okay? But I do need to duplicate the one behind it because it's going to be like he's moving it back. So I'm going to duplicate head copy 4. I'm going to do a Control J. And you can see it's number 6, which is perfect because that just allows me to know which one I did. Okay. So, oops, actually, I think I was on the wrong one. Hold on. I'm gonna back up. Oh, yep, that was right. So this is the one I want to undo. So, or redo. So Control J, I'm going to move that up above. Okay, because it's bringing the head back. Now, do your best to remember where you're at. So I need to now duplicate head copy 3, Control J, and that goes above. Now I'm going to do head copy 2, Control J, bring that above, and I'll start to, you can see it's making that movement go back. Head copy 2, Control J, bring that up, drag it up in my layers. I didn't quite make it, so I'm just going to move it here. Make sure those aren't the same. And then head copy. I might have a duplicate in there. I might have to fix that later. Control J, head copy 10. And then I put it in one spot and brought it up. Yeah, so what happened here is I accidentally duplicated the same layer over. And I know that because when I take the visibility off for number 10, it shows it. And then when I take it off for 9, it's exactly the same. So that means I either duplicated the wrong one or I duplicated the same one twice. Okay, so I might actually, I'm going to delete that because then I can see perfect. Now it's moving. Good. So when I put the eye back, you can see now it's moving back this way. So I'm going to rename this to number 10 just so it's easy, or 9, just so it's easier for me to know the order of everything. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do the same thing, but this time I'm going to move the head to the other side. So I've got my copy here, Control J, copy that, edit, transform. So same process, rotate, but this time I'm rotating it the other way over here, and I'm gonna shift it down a little bit. And I'm going to keep doing that until I get it to go this way. So I'm going to pause it while I do that. Okay, so now I did a rotate that way. It looks like his head might be coming up out of his body, his neck, but that's okay. That's totally okay. I can always adjust it later. What you could do if you wanted to, you can kind of view kind of what your animation looks like by clicking on the eye. So I'm just going to click and hold and drag. And I can kind of see what it's going to look like. It'll only take it so far before I can rotate it. And then back and forth. So that's pretty fun. I'm not sure if I'll keep all of those in there, but I think that's a good start for now. All right, you're going to want to save so you don't lose any of this. So File, Save as PSD, so it downloads. And now I'm going to go into my downloads and I'm going to go here because I have a duplicate. Oops, I don't want to open this. Just if you do a slow click or a rename, right click and rename, I'm going to do Aussie GIF. And this time I'm going to add head movement. Okay, that way you have a continuous progress just in case you would have to go back and undo anything.